Last week, as we studied the biblical text together, we interacted with the biblical text. We asked questions of the biblical text. We observed it. We diagrammed it. We looked for a first main idea. Last week, what we did is we studied the biblical text as the biblical text. Yet, we are not the only ones to have ever looked at the biblical text. There is a wealth of scholarship, a wealth of work that has been done with the biblical text that is accessible to you and that you should be using as you study the text. We should always start with the text first, but we can never, or we should never, stop there. If you are the first person to ever come up with a specific interpretation of a text, you may be right, but you're almost certainly wrong. A number of years back, I walked into a Baptist church I'd never been to before. I was visiting, I was new in a community, I was looking for a church to go to. And I was surprised when I walked into that church because what I found is that everyone in that church, all the ladies in that church, were wearing hats of one sort or another. The reasoning for this, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, Paul talks about the need for ladies to wear head coverings. As you get into the commentaries, into the biblical research on that text, you're going to find that wearing head coverings is a sign of modesty, a sign of humility, a sign of a woman saying that she is chaste and that she belongs to one man, her husband. That was the purpose of the head coverings. So are head coverings in our context in today something that we should wear? Well, that's a discussion to have, but you should be aware of what scholarship is saying about that. And in this church, they never even dealt with that. They never even interacted with that idea. It was just all about this is what it says woodenly, and they had no idea of the reason why. Scholarship exposes you to the reason why. There's several incredible tools at your access, or that you can access, that deal with what the text is saying in its original context. The first of these are commentaries. I'm standing here in the Midwestern Library. There's a wall of commentaries right behind me right now. And I want to challenge you to get a hold of the librarians here and to ask them to send you copies from good commentaries, good high-quality commentaries dealing with the meaning of the original text. What is a good high-quality commentary? Commentaries can be classified along three lines. First, you have devotional commentaries. These commentaries are primarily concerned with what does the text mean for you today. It's a devotional application. Then you have pastoral commentaries that are a collection of sermons. But when you're dealing with the text, the best type of commentary, the commentary you should be using first and foremost, is a technical commentary. This is a commentary that's going to focus on the meaning of the biblical text in its original context. It's going to interact with other forms of scholarship. It's going to interact with the original languages. There's going to be footnotes or citations in them so that it's saying, hey, there is this conversation going on about what this meant in the original context. Because before we can say what a text means for today, we need to first understand what it meant in its day. And so that's the purpose, the initial purpose of commentaries. And so as part of your exegetical outline assignment this week, you need to interact with at least 3 academic commentaries. You can get digital editions of these through programs like Logos or Word Search Bible or Accordance, or you can just write to the librarians and they will scan you for the passage that you've chosen out of some high-quality commentaries like the New International Commentary on the New Testament, the New American Commentary, the New International Commentary on the Greek New Testament, these more technical commentaries, your passage, and they'll email it to you. You want to get after that right away so you can get it in time to turn in this assignment. But that's something you want to do. Another key aspect is word studies as you're studying the meaning of the text. Don't just use Strong's Concordance for this. Look at things like BDAG or other more technical resources that are dealing with the history of scholarship on the meaning of words. As you get into this, it's going to refine your understanding of your textual outlines from last week. It's going to help you understand, okay, I thought this about the text, but in light of scholarship, I need to revise my understanding. And as you do that, you're revising your outline of how the text flows, and you may even be revising what the main idea is, what the text meant in its original context to its original audience. Before we can get to the work of how we preach a text, we first have to understand what the text meant. Guys, I'm excited y'all are taking this class. Feel free to email your prof with any questions about this assignment.